welcome back to the Patriot Tech Tip Series. My name is Trey, and this is a series that we've started with one simple goal in mind, and that's to pull back the curtain on the trades. Whether it's HVAC or electrical, these systems are the heartbeat of your home, but for most people, they're a total mystery. We want to change that. We believe that an educated customer is a happy customer. So in this series, I'm sitting down with our top technicians and managers to give you the honest and practical advice. We want to help you understand how your home works and show you how to prevent expensive breakdowns and help you keep your family safe and comfortable right here in East Texas. So today, I'm joined by Jeffrey, one of our top HVAC technicians, and we're doing exactly that, is we're talking about how to make sure we don't incur these expensive breakdowns by talking about how to maintain your HVAC system. Jeffrey, we're pushing into March right now, which has been an awfully odd weather this year, just like it was last year. We've been in the 80s almost coming through January and even into February. So everybody's starting to turn their ACs on. Yeah. So a few things that we want to do is we want to kind of go over what customers and homeowners are needing to look for, and what a maintenance will do for them, and exactly really what a maintenance is, right? Yeah. So just to kind of start this off, what is, when we talk about maintenance or we talk about a tune-up here, especially when it's coming into the springtime, what does that really mean for the homeowner?
Well, I mean, the big thing I feel like it means is kind of ensuring that your system's going to work for you. Right. Because the thing is, of course, nobody has a particular time where they say, yeah, I'd love my system to break down now. But it always seems like it's the worst time when it does break down. It's always the hottest time at night or something like that. So by doing the maintenance, we're able to, of course, we can't see everything, but we can see the things that are going to stop your system from running, because usually there's things like capacitors that need to be checked. Make sure that your motors are going to run. We're making sure that the system is clean so that it can run. It's not going to get clogged. It's not going to freeze up, making sure the refrigerant levels are right, those kind of things, just to ensure comfort. So that's the biggest benefit, is that we can kind of prevent the things that happen, before they happen.
So what do you... When you're typically on site and you go to and say it's not even a maintenance, but you go on what a no cool call, the system's not working. What are some of the typical issues you see that are relatively preventable for customers taking care of things?
So exactly that. So like, for example, a lot of calls that I go on where the system's not working. Well, the capacitor is not working, and so that's why the system's not working. Well, those are things we check on a maintenance, so that, let's change this out so it doesn't stop the system from running.
Gotcha.
Or if you've got a dirty coil, either indoor or outdoor, it can cause the system to either freeze up or overheat. And again, that's something we clean those on our maintenances so that you don't have to worry about that happening. So and things like that.
You mentioned the capacitor, which I think is probably the most common issue we typically see. Is there a way for a customer to really monitor this, or is this something that we need to get out? And then if so, how are we checking to verify whether it's going to be good or bad, if that makes sense?
Well, it's one of those things, you have to have the training to do it, because it is high voltage electricity that you're dealing with. But we have special meters that we use that can test the capacitor and let you know at what level it is. The manufacturer has a range at which they suggested operating. Once it gets below that operating range, what happens is the system might still be running, but what you'll see is that the motors are pulling in more amperage, they're getting hotter, and eventually gets to the point where that capacitor can't help the motor to start, and then the motor doesn't.
Gotcha. And when they're getting hot and it's having more of an issue starting up and keeping and maintaining, the efficiency is a big issue, no?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so we see a lot of times that just doing these preventative maintenance not only obviously helps you keep your system from breaking down and going through those, that 12, 24 hours while you're waiting on a technician to get out there, but also does help with the electric bill just because of that efficiencies as well. The one thing that I have always been told by you and other technicians, the analogy that I typically hear as far as why you need to prevent or do these preventive maintenance is the same thing as like a car. Can you kind of elaborate on that?
Well, I mean, the big thing is, like, if we think about our cars, we know we have to do maintenance. We have to change the oil and everything to stop them from breaking down. But the thing about the HVAC system in your home that's interesting in comparison to a car is that your HVAC system works a lot more than your car does.
Yeah, it does.
When you drive somewhere and get out your car is not running.
Yeah, an hour a day maybe you're using it.
But when you set your thermostat and say, I want to keep my house at this temperature, you leave your house, guess what? Your system is still running. So that system gets a lot of wear and tear, as it was. It gets a lot of miles, if you want to put it that
100%. Right. And I mean, it is a motor. It is a working system. I mean, it's got oil, it's got specific closed pressures and everything that need to be maintained to keep that efficiency, but also to keep it from breaking down. So And again, I know the weather has been odd this year, but when would you recommend a customer to typically look at getting out to their home to do this preventative maintenance if they're trying to get in early before the rush hits? If that makes sense.
Well, one thing about it, we do have a limitation when it comes to operating a system because systems are designed to operate when it's above 70 degrees outside. When it's below that, there's different things that can affect it and how we can test it and see that. So the best time, unfortunately, to test a system is when it's the hottest because then you can see it working at its hardest and know how it's operating. But generally, we want the temperature to be above 70 degrees before we're testing it and running it.
Gotcha.
Like that.
Yeah, so I guess typically we're probably looking at mid to late March here in East Texas. I mean, here recently, could have been early February.
Yesterday,
I know it is some crazy weather, but just doing these small maintenances. So you mentioned obviously we're going in looking at electrical components. We're checking refrigerant levels. We're cleaning it, which seems to be the biggest thing as far as an efficiency is concerned. What about ductwork? Are we going in on ductwork?
So it depends on the way it is. One thing that we do is we test static pressure. That lets us know how good the air is moving, and it's a good metric for the ductwork. And that's a big factor when it comes to efficiency as well, because if your system has really high static pressure, it's like having high blood pressure. It's working really hard.
Gotcha.
It could be it's not going to be as efficient. But if you can find ways to adjust ductwork and get that static pressure down, well, then the system's going to work. It's going to be a lot easier for it to work, and then you'll start seeing efficiencies.
Right. And not only that, I mean, you could even have ductwork that's not. We've seen it to where it's just split, and you're cooling your attic.
Exactly.
That's good for nobody.
Yeah. So that's another thing you want to look at is how much of the capacity that the unit has is actually being delivered into your home.
Right.
So we kind of try to look at that as well. That way we can say, hey, your system is actually working at like 50% capacity. Let's get it up to 90%.
Right. And I know last year I actually had you come out to my place because my AC stopped working, and I don't know if you remember this, but the drain line was clogged, and I'm gonna butcher this. The safety, what's the safety mechanism?
The float switch.
The float switch. Thank you. The float switch basically had indicated the water come up to the point to where it wasn't spilling over. So thankfully I didn't have to worry about all the water all over my floor in my attic. But you came out, I think we had to actually redo some of the pipe work, but you blew out the line itself, cleared it out. That way it's able to drain through. And I don't know if we can kind of touch on that as to why are these systems producing water like that?
Well, because an air conditioner is a dehumidifier. You have a cold coil, and it's just like, if you have a cold drink, it starts to sweat on the outside.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or that cold coil, evaporator coil inside the unit, the air over it, it releases water.
Gotcha.
And so that way the water is drained. So all AC systems have a drain on it. And what happens a lot of times, especially in the wintertime, is those drains will get dry because in the wintertime, your system's not producing water.
Right.
And so you get growth in there, things like that clog it up. So that's part of our maintenance too, is we make sure that we treat that drain line to make sure it's clear and make sure it's draining properly. Because, of course, a good thing to have is a float switch to make sure that if it is clogged, it's not going to spill and cause water damage. But at the same time, when it comes to that water draining and everything like that, we want to make sure that it is draining because that's just a part of it.
Right. Yep. You just don't want to back it up and all that growth. Is there a way to help prevent that? I mean, I know you said we do some kind of treatment, but to help kind of clear the growth, but is there a way to help prevent the growth?
There is. I mean, we have certain products that we offer, and it's a strip that we put into the evaporator coil. It has an enzyme in it that helps to treat that line to prevent clogs.
Okay.
And it's very inexpensive. I think it's like $30. So,
oh, okay. I mean, that's worth, because I tell you, we went about 24 hours without AC, and it, of course, just like always, is the middle. I think it was on a Saturday. I don't remember what the temperature was. I remember it was hot.
Yeah.
Then even then, finally got the AC back up and running. It still took another 12 hours to get it back.
To get down the temperature.
It was terrible with and of course young kids, and we ended up actually going to the in-laws' house just because it was so hot there. But it inevitably got back down. But yeah, that was I've experienced it. I know we've got a lot of customers, especially members, that have experienced it as well. And typically that's why they come into our memberships, is that they get priority service, and we can get out there as quick as possible to make sure that they're not having to wait another 12, 24 hours after that in order for it to cool back down.
Definitely.
So anything else that you can think of that might be beneficial for a customer to know or homeowner to know about maintaining their systems?
I mean, it's just the biggest thing is the reason why you have the system is you want to be comfortable.
Right.
And so maintaining is going to help you to do that.
Yep.
So that's what we try to do, is to ensure that you stay comfortable, and we look for ways to try to save you money as well.
Perfect. That's exactly right. Well, Jeffrey, I really appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Again, this is Trey and Jeffrey with Patriot Electric Heating and Cooling. We're out of Tyler, Texas. We're just here talking about a few things to make sure homeowners keep on top of their systems, make sure they're aware, stay comfortable all year round, and stay safe as well. Y'all check back in. We'll have a couple links here in the bottom if y'all are interested about getting on our membership, even booking a call if you're out here in East Texas. You're more welcome to call us as well, 903-954-2525. We'll get in touch with you.